Guanxin in Beijing. A report from the International Monetary Fund predicts the global economy will do well despite subdued overall mobility, leading to a stronger than anticipated rebound. The body estimates the global economy will grow 6% in 2021, moderating to above 4% in 2022. The U.S. is expected to surpass its pre-COVID-19 GDP level this year, while China returned to its pre-COVID-19 GDP in 2020. However, many other countries are not expected to do so until 2023. The IMF noted the output losses have been large for countries that rely on tourism and commodity exports. Within-country income inequality will likely increase because young workers and those with lower skills remain more heavily affected. The report said in recent months, there have been sharp increases in long-term interest rates, partly reflecting revised market expectations of the pace at which the U.S. Federal Reserve will normalize policy as the growth outlook for the U.S. economy improves. And now for more insights, let's bring our guest, Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at Chungyang Institute of Finance of Renmin University. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Liu.
Thank you.
Well, the IMF forecast a stronger recovery, but highlighted the uneven paces of recoveries. What do you think about the possibility of a so-called K-shaped recovery, the widening income gap?
Actually, we are very deeply impressed by the forecast from IMF, because the forecast from IMF for the recovery of the world global economy is quite positive. Of course, there are greater concerns around the whole world about the so-called K-shaped recovery. The K-shaped recovery means that the income gap between emerging market and the global economy will be enlarged. Actually, this is because the vaccination is still in question, because many emerging market and developing countries, they don't have enough time or even money to buy the vaccination. Because all the economic recovery depends on the pandemic outbreak, whether it could be well controlled. So this is a key problem and a challenge for all countries. So that's why that can make the income gap even larger, even serious than ever before, because the pandemic outbreak cannot be controlled. All the emerging markets, especially for developing countries, they will have facing the heaviest serious and challenges. So the income gap, I think, will remain for quite a long time. It's not an easy job for the whole economy.
And the inequality issue deserves more attention. And Ms. Liu, the Boao Forum for Asia will convene at the end of next week. It will offer an Asian perspective for improving global governance. So what do you think about Asia's policy priorities to revive the economy and the future framework for more regional cooperation?
As we know that Asian development is also a highlight for the whole world. That many countries that put their hopes and wishes that on the Asian development. Actually, we call the Asian perspective is another word is the Asian spirit. What the meaning of the Asian perspective? That it means the Asian countries always have traditional way that to develop, to cooperate with each other. That's what we call this inclusiveness, not exclusive, as other in European countries or in America. They have already adopted inclusive policies that to expel other countries to cooperate with their economy. But the Asian perspective is that we always have inclusive cooperation together with sincerity, with full efforts to cooperate with each other. This is very essential for Asian countries. That's why the whole global economy that put the Asian development as the key development engine for the whole global economy. So Asian perspective is bright, is very sensitive and also promising for the whole world. So Asian countries should unite together to develop its own Asian spirit.
And we should stick to that path. And infrastructure is now a focal point of government investment, including the United States, which just announced a plan to build back better. So how will the Belt and Road Initiative fit into this demand?
I have to say the One Belt and Road Initiative is not contradicted with any other initiatives proposed by different countries, because as the European country or as America, BBB, the Build Back Better. All these initiatives could have the similar purpose that to improve the infrastructure project, also to improve the living standard of their own country. This is a common sense for whole the economy development. So it's quite easy to cope with each other. I mean that if the countries like United States and the European countries should not put the economic initiative politically or politicicize this initiative, that could be well managed and worked together with the Chinese initiative, that could make all this initiative more effectiveness, the more inclusiveness. That could great help for the global economy. So if we put these two initiatives as contradicted ideas that could make sharp competition, this is not the way, not the idea of the Chinese initiative. So we hope that less competitiveness, more cooperation.
Mm-hmm. Well, China is the first major economy to have emerged from the crisis, and data from the State Administration of Foreign Exchange released today showed foreign investment in China jumped more than 80% last year. So now the country is aiming high quality opening up and improving business environment. How can foreign businesses further tap into these opportunities?
There's no surprising that China has become already the only major country that have positive growth in the last year, even during the very serious pandemic outbreak, because of the China's opening up widely than ever before. So I hope that all the foreign companies and investors who are looking forward to have close cooperation with China, they should also have to open up their ideas at least, and also from the policy, the measures they are taking. They should also cooperate with the Chinese opening up policy. By doing so, that they can be easily to be merged and tapped into the China's environment, because the China has to try its best to improve the financial, environmental, and also the conditions and the business climate, and also management, even administration management. Of course, the other point we have to say that China has greatly improved its law system to cope and to cooperate with the international standard. That could make all the foreign companies easier to be one partner or the one member of the general family members that are as in China development. So in this way, that all these foreign companies, they can find they are living, they are working, they are doing business as at their own home at the same conditions. That could make benefits and profits for all.
Well, thank you very much for your insights, Mr. Liu Zhiqin, the Senior Fellow at Zhongyang Institute of Finance of Renmin University in China.